A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man but 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot. Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered. And gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the jousts, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat. The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also honor Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. Warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good Widow Vilda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
You were serious before when you said you wanted to help Branka, huh? I'm Oghren. I don't know if you remember. People seem to forget me these days. Or ignore. I forget which. Not everyone hates me, you know. There's enough people who know I'm interested. They make sure I hear if anyone's looking for her. They say Harrowmont's teams find you to follow it. But they haven't found Branka herself. And that means whatever they've got, it's not enough if you don't know what she was looking for. If we pool our knowledge, we stand a chance of finding Branka. Otherwise, good sodding luck. You should know that Branka was looking for the Anvil of the Void, the secret to building golems, which was lost centuries ago. And with it, Orzammar had 100 years of peace, while it was protected by the golems forged on the Anvil. As far as anyone knows, the Anvil was built in the old Ortan Thaig. Branka planned to start looking there, if she could ever find it. All she knew was that it was past Caridin's Cross. No one's seen that Thaig for 500 years. If we're going, let's get moving. Find herself.
Horse.
An elf? I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesh's permission.
Open your eyes, man! This Grey Warden is on a quest to find your paragon. Do I have to take your stinking head off?
That won't be necessary. Branka, I suppose he's the next best thing in both skill and arrogance. You may pass. I'd offer more assistance, but my command post is here. All of Orzammar relies on us to hold this line. Best of luck with your quest, Warden. Orzammar needs a paragon now more than ever.
I can't believe Harrowmont actually tracked this place down. This used to be one of the biggest crossroads in the old Empire. You could get anywhere from here, including Ortan Thaig. No one but Caridin ever really knew more than it had some kind of stone-blessed power. Every golem who ever ranged across the Empire was hammered, but no one ever knew exactly how they were made. But Branka was sure she could find out. Not a one. But trust me, we will once we're on the path to the old Ortan Thaig. She was going to Caridin's home. I've been waiting for someone to say that for...
Oh, look what we have here. A couple of Harrowmont's little lackeys. Let's show 'em who's king.
It's of my ancestors. Ortan Thaig. I never thought I'd see this place in the flesh. I can see Branka all over this place. She always took chips from the walls at regular intervals when she was in a new tunnel. Checked their composition. If she was still here, though, she'd have sentries out by now. This was Caridin's home Thaig, Paragon. Even stayed here when he could have had his own house, Ramar. The City of the Dead. Caridin built it to honor the Legion of the Dead, but it was more like a sodding mausoleum than anything. Of course, that was all before he built the Anvil. After that, he was the city's pet genius until he angered the king and fell into disfavor. It's a Thaig here, the Ortan Thaig. Bunamar is north and west of here, but that's not important, or at least I hope it isn't. The City of the Dead is known as the Dead Trenches since the Darkspawn conquered it. Much of the Legion was destroyed when the fortress fell. No one does. At the time, Ortan Thaig was almost part of the main city, where the Anvil was stored. Now it's impossible to know if it's been moved or even destroyed. But trust me, if we find it, we find Branka. Couldn't have said it better myself.